Hi everyone, it's Diana, the Doll Fairy. Welcome back to my channel. Today's dose of doll magic is a doll based off the character of Pusheen the Cat, and it was made for RetrodollsUS's Valentine's Day doll swap. I know it's a little bit late, but I was assigned to make a doll for Sarah from Sugar Lump Gift Shop on Instagram. She had a lot of really cool ideas for Valentine's themed dolls that she might like, and I was really inspired by all of her ideas, but I was extra inspired when she mentioned that she was obsessed with Pusheen. And I was struck with the idea of making a really cute little Pusheen themed doll, and I couldn't get the image out of my mind. Since Sarah prefers Monster High bodies, I bought this Draculaura doll to use as the base. Her soft pastel pink skin will work well with the bright colors I plan to use for her hair. I'm taking most of my inspiration for the color scheme from the colors of Pusheenicorn, the unicorn version of Pusheen. In order to get the exact shades of purple, pink, and light green that I wanted, I ordered RetrodollsUS's Minty Fresh Monofiber, Hubba Bubba Monofiber, and Mulberry Polypropylene. After cleaning off the base doll, I paint her scalp with pink, purple, and light green to have a guide to follow during the reroot. I'm rooting one half of the scalp with pink and the other half with mostly purple with some green in the front. I plan to give her bangs in front, so the green should look nice on the right side. It was interesting working with different types of synthetic hair. The monofiber was very silky and smooth, but a bit slippery for my taste. The polypropylene is nice and shiny. I have to say that my favorite material for reroots is still nylon. The part was a little tricky because I had to remember to put the right color on the opposite side of the part line so that I could fold it over to create a patched effect. I made this doll before I started using Mr. Super Clear, so I'm using the Liquitex Matte Medium method to seal my doll before starting the repaint. I honestly don't think I'll go back now that I know how to use MSC, but I still recommend this method for people starting out with doll customization who don't want to jump right in buying MSC and a respirator mask, and it could be a little bit intimidating. If you choose to use this alternative, the method I've developed is to dilute a few drops of the matte medium with water and then to apply it onto the face with a makeup sponge, only on the eye, eyebrow, and lip areas. If you cover the whole face, it will get sticky and attract dust. Try to use just enough so that you can draw guidelines with the watercolor pencils. It only takes a few minutes to dry, so I do about 3 to 4 coats of that and then start the face up. I'm starting with a basic outline of the eyes. I'm trying to do wide, super cute anime style eyes. Also, for reference, I look at the custom dolls Sarah has bought in the past on her Instagram, so I tried to make my doll for her appeal to the styles and eye shapes she tends to prefer. I add some pink pastels for blushing. Pastels don't stick as well as they would with MSC, but they still stick to the vinyl if you're patient and persistent. I'm also using pastels to give her peachy pink lips to match her hair. I use the pencils to add details to her lips. Next, I get out my acrylic paints and tiny brushes and start the real work of painting the eyes. I start with filling in the whites of the eyes, then refine my outlines for the eyes with a light brown because the light green didn't really feel right to me. Next, I do all of the details in the irises before moving on to adding paint to the outline of the eyes and the eyelashes. I start by filling in the irises with a medium turquoise green. Then I mix some darker and lighter values to create a gradient in each eye. I really love how those colors look. That's my absolute favorite color. I added some black to the middle to create the pupil and continued to add some more light turquoise to the bottom of the eye to really emphasize that gradient. Then for the highlights, I decided to paint little heart shapes on the right side of each eye since the doll is for Valentine's Day. I use a light pink colored pencil to draw in the waterline, which, to be honest, I tend to forget about. Then I went over it with a more vibrant pink because it wasn't showing up enough. Then I mix some deep pink and brownish reds together for the eyelashes. The key to doing this part with precision is going slowly, painting in small strokes, and not putting too much paint on the brush at one time, so you don't end up with blobs. When I want to add more eyelashes and eyelid wrinkles, I use my colored pencil again to sketch them in first, before going over them lightly and carefully with paint. When I'm finally satisfied with the lashes, I paint on her eyebrows in a minty turquoise color as well. I tried to add in some really fine eyebrow hairs too with a lighter turquoise, but I didn't do too much of that because I wasn't sure if it would look good or what. So I used some white pencil to give the brows a bit of an outline underneath. For the outfit, my ideas were a little all over the place at first. I was thinking of using these CA Cupid wings and these pom-pom boots, but I knew for sure I wanted to use these cupcake details. For the dress, I used this bunny blanc dress to create a pattern for a little crop top and pinafore or overall dress. Not quite sure which to call it. I decided to make the crop top colorful, but make the skirt or pinafore out of this gray fabric reminiscent of Pusheen's fur color. For the shirt, I'm going to use this pretty purple fabric with this lovely mint lace to make sleeve. I sewed most of that off camera, but here it is. Isn't it cute? I'm just going to hem the top with some tacky glue. I really like doing that because then you don't have to see the stitches going across the top. Plus, it's quick and pretty durable. And here's the finished top. It's simple, but it's amazing how far a little lace goes towards spicing things up and adding an element of cuteness and elegance.
You guys can tell I really like lace, right?
Okay, now let's embroider Pusheen. I'm using some black embroidery thread and doing what I believe is called a backstitch. It's where you make a stitch, then come back up through the fabric within the previous stitch that you just made. This way you have no space between the stitches. And there he is. Look how cute he is. I'm just going to hem him up by gluing the excess fabric in the back. This will also kind of stiffen this piece of fabric a bit, which is good because I don't want it to flop over when we put it on the doll. Now I'm going to add some of this mint lace on the bottom of the skirt as well. Then I'm adding a waistband at the top to attach the gathered skirt to. After that, I'll sew the Pusheen face of the pinafore to this waistband in the front. Next, I'm making two thin straps to create the little overalls or suspender look. I'm folding this strip of gray fabric together and then stitching down them with this bright pink embroidery thread. I really like the look of these stitches, so I'm also going to add them to the hem of the skirt. And to finish up the skirt, I added a little hook and eye closure in the back. I made some little white socks out of a thin white fabric and then lined the tops of the socks with more pink thread stitches. Later, I also added these little pom-poms to the socks. I really adore this cute little dress, but to give it even more cuteness, I'm adding this shiny white gathered ribbon to the bottom of the skirt to give the illusion of having a petticoat underneath. Next, I'm taking these shoes from Birthday Ball Cupid, which have little cupcakes on the front of them, and I'm repainting them to match Pusheen's color scheme. After painting on all the little accents, I used some Liquitex matte varnish to coat them and protect the paint. For her head, I want to give her a little headband with cat ears that resemble Pusheen's. I'm using this headband from a Hasbro Snow White doll. I'm covering the headband with more gray fabric, and then painting the bow mint green. For the ears, I draw them onto paper and then cut them out of 2 layers of fuzzy gray felt. When glued together with tacky glue, they're stiff enough to stand up on their own without flopping over. I glue these ears to the headband and they look super cute. To decorate the dress, I made this bow out of some bright pink ribbon and sewed on the little cupcake button. Now that her outfit is finished, let's get back to the head. I did something a little bit risky. After finishing the face up, I really carefully pinned some plastic wrap all around the face at the hairline so that I could pour boiling water over the hair to tame that monofiber. I was careful to keep the water away from the face by using a medicine dropper to squirt the water onto the hair without dumping it onto the head. But even so, her face up got a little damp and a little messed up in a few places. As you can see here, it's not that bad except for the eyelashes, but I'm a highly emotional perfectionist, so I got pretty upset about it and was even considering wiping the face off and starting over. In the end, I decided that I could carefully touch up the eyelashes and blushing and wouldn't have to start all over. After that, her hair was still a little bit poofy, so I used a different method. I wrapped a piece of a freezer bag over her head and used a hairdryer on a low heat setting to help set the hair in place. This took a little while, but it helped a lot without risking damaging the face up again. And now she's finally finished. Making a doll for someone else for the first time was a really cool experience, especially since I've been getting to know Sarah a little bit as a friend lately, and she is so sweet and such a talented, inspiring artist. I'm really so happy that I got to make a doll for her, and I hope she will enjoy having little Pusheen girl on her shelf next to her Pusheen plush collection. Here's a look at how I packaged her up to get ready for her journey to Sarah. And as a little bonus, let me show you the doll I received from Roogna's Custom Creations. She is a beautiful flower fairy named Yuan, with this gorgeous shimmery pink and purple hair that's long like Rapunzel's. And just look at her handmade wings. They're so beautiful. As the doll fairy, I definitely approve. Special thanks to RetrodollsUS for hosting this fun swap. I'm in a few more of them, so I'll be sure to share my other swap creations with you all as well. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure you subscribe for more doll magic. See you soon!